Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Jernigan, also known as Phrancko, and this is the weekly meeting of the Phrancko Sweater knitters. Not everybody is working on a Phrancko sweater. That's fine. You're welcome to come join us no matter what you're working on. Maybe you've never done a Phrancko sweater and you just like to know what it is. Come join us. We can chat and answer any questions you might have. Hi, Wally.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Judith.
Hello, everyone. Bonsoir.
Hi, Will.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Sidra.
Hello.
Hi, Ron and Tim.
Hello.
Hi. Oh,
Cindy wrote me and said she's not going to be able to join us today because she has a grandchild who is graduating. So she's going to a graduation ceremony today.
All
Cool.
right.
of course.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
Yes.
Is Saturday not an odd day to have a graduation? Are they usually at the weekend, are they?
They could be anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
At
Okay.
my college, we do it Friday nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would expect a weekday, yes. I wouldn't have expected a weekend, yeah. Yeah.
Well, since it's been over 50 years since I've been in college, I think I don't have much to say about what the practice is.
Having never even been to college, I have no idea. It's just
Oh.
my sister went, so yes. Yeah.
I kind of think Saturday or Sunday makes more sense because people sometimes travel from out of town. And
Yeah.
so you could travel in on a Friday and then go to the ceremony on Saturday and then go home Sunday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The school my kids
okay.
used to go to, there were 3 high schools in the area, and it was only one school that had a large enough, football field that they could, sit in. So they would have the morning, they would have an evening, and then they have either one day before or after.
Mm.
Yeah. They have to share.
Oh,
They had to
okay.
share it, yeah.
And do they do is it everybody who is graduating in that year that is done at the same time? Or is it like they just do the people that have done maths or something like that?
Depends on
Yeah,
the
whoever
institution.
graduated that year.
Everybody. Oh, right, okay.
Mm.
Well, that could make for a long ceremony.
Yeah.
They are long. And if it's a school that has, like if it's a school, a university that's big enough where they have undergraduates and graduate students, usually the graduate students have a different ceremony on a different day to break it up.
Mm.
Yeah, when I finished grad school, my college in the university had its own graduation, and those were divided further by departments.
Hmm.
And that was
Oh,
a
okay.
weekend as well.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Well-
The things you learned in this meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, when my friend's granddaughter graduated upstate, they did all 3 years because of the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that was a 6-hour one. So
Wow. My
yeah,
goodness.
that was a little long.
Yeah.
You get fed up with clapping, surely by the end. Your hands must
Absolutely.
You know, they ask you not to.
Yeah.
Don't applaud. It's fine. It will take too long. Hold your applause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Well, hello, Karen. I didn't get to greet you when you came in.
Hi, long time no see.
Hi.
And it
Hi,
is
Karen.
Nice.
all a sight for sore eyes, let me tell you.
Yes. Nice to see you too. I'd like to read a part of a comment that somebody left 2 weeks ago, but since I wasn't here last week, I couldn't read it last week. But she was greeting all of us and telling us what these meetings mean to us, to her or him. Actually, I'm not sure. To them. They say, "You're such a beautiful group of people who I find constantly inspiring, interesting, and unwaveringly generous. Thank you to all of you." And then she goes on to mention a couple of things that were mentioned in that meeting that were helpful to her. But I wanted to read the part that was just to everyone. because I think there are other people who feel that way about these meetings. We get comments every week from various people.
Oh,
And,
that's lovely that they,
Nice, how very nice.
Very
I thought that
nice.
was really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
lovely
you.
that they take the time to comment as well. That's
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah.
It is
We-
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We now have a second one who writes in Spanish. I haven't had time to read it, but he's from Uruguay. Uruguay.
Yeah.
Uruguay.
That's cool.
Does he write his comments in Spanish?
This one did.
Oh, okay.
Um,
¿Y qué dijo?
let's see if I can find it again.
I know no Spanish, so I wouldn't be no
Right.
help.
Google Translate.
Yeah.
I should let Will read it.
And or Ron. I don't know. Ron's Spanish.
Ron, you know Spanish?
Por supuesto, soy californiano. Debo de.
Whatever.
It's
Yeah.
from Ana Sencio. Gracias. Muy claras las instrucciones. Después de ver muchos videos, incluso algunos comprados, por primera vez entiendo las reglas.
Ah,
Muy claras las instrucciones. Saludos desde Uruguay.
cool.
That's the
She
best I
said-
can read it.
She says that the instructions are very clear, and after watching many videos, even some paid ones now, the instructions are very clear. Greetings to
Oh.
everyone.
And it's
Nice.
the first time she's understood it.
Yeah.
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 Oh, she's actually referring to my Intarsia in the Round video. That's where the
Oh,
comment
okay.
existed. So
Oh,
Cool.
that's cool. That's lovely.
You're helping people all over the world.
I know, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
That's affirming. Yes.
That's a good thing about a knitting video. You don't have to speak the language. You can just watch the video to see what's
Yeah.
going on. Yes,
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll show you what I've been working on. I have continued my Amuragabi, and
Oh.
Yes. Go on then. How
it's
far
still
have we
not
got?
done, but here he is so far.
Oh, cute.
Oh, how cute. Look at him.
It's a little
So
bear.
cute.
He's got a jacket. This is the jacket, and then he's got these pants. He will have shoes. There will be sleeves on the jacket. And this is it.
Wow.
They call this a turtleneck to the, on the jacket.
Very cute.
That is cute.
I'm enjoying doing it. It's kind of fun to do something different.
And are the clothes part of the original pattern or have you improvised?
No, I haven't improvised a thing.
Oh.
I'm doing exactly what the pattern calls. Because I've never done one before, and I thought, well, I'll learn how to do it by doing somebody else's. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Hi,
Nice to
guys.
see you.
Kathy.
Hi.
I just came in from the garden.
Cool.
Got all
Oh,
the squash planted today.
Yeah.
how's your
No.
greenhouse plants doing?
What's that?
Your greenhouse plants, how are they doing?
They're all in the ground now.
All right. I
Oh,
thought so.
guys.
Yes. And so tomorrow, seeds. I start planting seeds tomorrow. Anyway, it's always hectic this time of year. How's
Is that a
everybody
kit?
else?
I'm sorry.
Oh, is that a kit that you were doing? The amigurumi?
No, it's a pattern in a book. Ron
Okay.
mentioned a bundle we could buy at some point, and I don't remember where
Tim,
the bundle is. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, it was on Humble Bundle.
yes.
Humble.
Yeah, I don't think
No.
that they're carrying that particular bundle anymore, but you can almost certainly still get the books from somewhere.
I see. I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. Let me. It's called My Crochet Animals.
Okay.
And let's see if I can share my screen and show you the cover.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh,
Oh,
cute.
Oh, cute.
that's a cute one that's there.
Yes. It's 12 different animals. This is the one I'm doing. There's a raccoon,
Ah!
Oh.
a fox, a deer. So
Oh,
they're cute.
They are.
Yes.
boy.
Very cute.
Do it.
how long does it take to make one of those?
Oh dear. I never know how to answer that question because I don't time myself.
Oh,
Um,
Tim.
I've taken the pants off because I need to add a few more rows to the top of the pants. And I calculated that I do one stitch every 6 seconds. And
Oh my God.
20 times there are 400 stitches in the upper part of the pants. So somebody multiply that 2,400 stitches. I think I calculated it as 40 minutes or something, but I may not have that right.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, for the pants. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's an hour for the an actual hour of crocheting for that. It goes pretty
Wow.
fast.
that is pretty fast.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Tim, do you want to show off your puffin?
Okay.
yay.
Okay, now that Tim's gone.
Oh,
Gosh, that's
Uh,
cool.
Wait, wait.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Wow, that's adorable.
Cute. Oh, wow.
It's from this book.
Pika Pow.
Peekaboo.
Animal Friends of
Peekaboo.
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 Yeah, Pika-Pow.
Peekaboo.
Oh, the frog is adorable.
So I think there are 3 books in this series.
Oh, there's
now.
more than
There's
3.
more than 3 books in
There's
this.
like 5.
Um,
Oh,
so they're very distinctively styled. I like this guy.
Wait. Yeah.
look at that.
And he gets a little hat.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he gets a little.
it's so cute.
Yeah. I'm working on the hat.
Oh.
I have a question about crocheting in 2 colors around the neckline. I guess it's the neck on that
Is
animal. If you bring it back, can you bring it back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, bring it back.
Yeah.
I'll take this opportunity to mention that I found a new use for my elastic rings. Now I use them to bundle my DPNs.
Oh.
Nice.
So the neck.
Yes, on the neck. How do you do 2 colors like that? Is it similar to stranded knitting? You just carry
Yes.
the other color on the back?
Yes. All I did was when I was switching colors, I would just let go of the other color, pick up the new color, and then when I switch back, I just am careful not to pull too tight so that the colors don't, pull on each other. With the face, this part actually they have you cut your yarn
Oh,
and then tie it into a knot so that it stays in place nicer. Which it's a little annoying to have to cut your yarn, but the end result is really pretty.
yeah, it's really nice.
So,
Yes.
and it doesn't waste all that much yarn.
That gives you the same problem as Intarsia in the round. This is Intarsia basically.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And then that is done like stranded knitting. I think last week you showed the floats. didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was really excited because they were talking about, that particular kind of color work, and it was cool to see it in practice and do it. So
Very nice. Wow.
thank you.
So the
Right.
intarsia face, is it knitted back and forth like
So
intarsia in the
as
round?
he was saying, the rather than having you do some kind of turning it around method,
Uh-huh.
there are also some people who would have you crochet over the other color you're not using until you get back around. This designer just had you break the yarn and knot it off at the end of each color change.
On every color chain, every row. Oh, I didn't realize that when Tim said he had to cut.
Yeah, and it hides on the inside, so you can cut them pretty short, and it doesn't waste very much yarn.
I see.
While we're here, hot off the needles, I've just finished weaving in my hat.
Oh, we
Oh,
will.
how nice.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's
That
fun.
is nice.
That is beautiful.
I'm very pleased with it. Let's see that
Yeah.
even fits me.
yeah.
Ah,
Hey, look at that.
Yes.
Are you going to publish that pattern?
So I'm thinking of updating my introduction to stranded knitting class to use something like this because the stakes are low. It lets you do lots of different gaps, sizes for yarn management.
Uh-huh.
I think the last pattern I had,
Was intimidating.
yeah, it was sort of intimidating for the participants. So this may become part of a class, but probably not in cashmere.
We.
It's so soft.
Oh,
Hmm.
Okay.
I love this pattern.
it's nice because it's very subtle how it changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
we see you're still working on those socks, Will.
I am. I'm almost done. This is the second one, and I've just got, 2 more repeats of the pattern, of the colorwork pattern before I do the ribbing.
Uh-huh.
It's really less than a day's work. I've been doing other things, but I did last night, I think it was, I plugged in all the numbers for my next Phrancko.
Mhm.
So I've got the pattern for that. And the only work I'll have to do is adjust any of the numbers so that the repeat of the cable pattern I want to do fits into the pre-generated pattern. But I've got the yarn and the gauge and the measurements and all of that. So I'm ready to begin that soon as I want to.
What yarn?
I'm gonna just use Knit Picks palette again. I got a whole bunch of it on sale last year, and here we are in May the next year, and I still haven't done anything with it. So
What else is new?
you guys know how
Familiar.
that goes, I'm sure.
Is it all black?
Oh no, it's the name of the color is Finley Heather. If you hang on a second, I'll grab a ball. It's
Yeah.
it's sort of an oatmeal heathery kind of color. Hang on. So this is,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's nice.
I know
Yeah.
that it looks, I mean, it is great, and I don't know if you can see the variations in color with the
Yeah.
heathering.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
yeah,
got a nice sheen. It's
Yeah,
got a nice sheen.
it's just 100% Peruvian wool, fingering weight.
really?
Yeah,
It looks like it might have some silk in it, but I guess it doesn't. I mean, it's
no, it's just
because it's got that sheen.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
2-ply.
it looks very fine.
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
But I've used it before for lots of things, and it's one of my favorite yarns.
Oh,
Yeah.
what about it makes it your favorite?
the price.
That's a good deal. Yeah.
And well, and then the other thing is it's available in something like 150 colors. So
Oh.
if you're doing color work, it's just there's a whole lot of options that you've got. And I've just used it a lot. So it's the sort of thing where it's a yarn I'm so familiar with that I know what I'm getting. I know what to expect. I know how it behaves. I know I have sweaters I've knit with it that are many, many, many years old, and they still hold up and they look good. And so it's one of those yarns I feel really comfortable with just because I've used it so much that there's no, well, unless they were to change the mill where they're making it or something, or, you know, I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Sidra,
Yes.
I'm gonna show now what I'm working on.
Oh my God. I don't have to ask you?
No
I didn't
bullying.
want to wait. But I'm not working on a Phrancko sweater. I'm still working on a sleeveless top
Oh,
that's
nice.
so pretty.
that I
Yeah.
started. But I had to do it over again. I mean, the small part that I had started with the picot wedge, I couldn't get the right gauge. I mean, it was always different. I start with a provisional crochet cast on, and I made a swatch. I measured, then I did it with what I thought should be the right amount of stitches. It was too big. I ripped it. I started with the new number of stitches. It was too small.
Oh,
So now for this one, I added 10 stitches compared to the previous one. And when I measured it, I still had the same measure, the same width. So I tried it. It seems to be okay. So I'm not doing it again. But am I the only one who has such a problem with cast on different gauge difference with the cast on I use?
With the provisional cast on?
Even with non-provisional cast on, I seem to notice that I can be off quite a bit. So,
You mean the cast on line?
should I have another hobby?
No.
Is your cast on too tight?
Mostly too loose.
Oh.
So then
Most
go down.
often.
So go down smaller needles.
Yes.
You change the needle size when you. That's what you do.
Well,
Yeah,
if it's not the size of the stitch, depending on the
Yeah.
cast on you're doing,
Yeah.
it's not the size of the stitch on the needle, it's the space between the stitches.
Yeah.
And so changing the needle size and like changing your needle size in your long tail cast on generally just makes your first row of knitting distorted rather than
Wait.
the amount of space in between stitches.
Do you use two needles held together at once to do it? Is that why it's too loose?
No, I do not. Let's say I use a provisional cast on. If I used to knit my provisional long tail cast on, each stitch were quite close to each other, so my swatch would be quite tight at the base,
Right.
and the rest of this, the swatch would go a little bit like that. But the fabric I would get with that needle in stockinette would, I would obtain what I would want. So then I would pay attention when I start the sweater or whatever, to create a little more space between each cast on stitches. And that space makes, of course, a big difference. And it kind of, it seems, even though I use the same needle and yarn that the one I used for the swatch, it seems to start off wrong, and when I measure, it's not working. So I find it hard to get the right gauge with the correct cast on. So
let me just say that you are working with the right parameter. The tension of the cast on, of the long tail cast on, is determined by the space between the stitches when you put them on the needle. If they're snug right up against each other, they're going to be too tight. So you really have to just sort of figure out when are they the right distance apart and make sure everyone is that distance from the previous one. It's really not as hard as it sounds once you get used to it, but they should be evenly spaced and there should be a small gap. And the gap is actually should be the same gauge you're trying to go for the stockinette. So, if you cast on, say, 10 stitches and you had them all on the needle evenly spaced out, you could measure those 10 stitches and see what the gauge of those 10 will be. That will be the gauge of the cast on. Sorry, go ahead, Ron.
Which provisional cast on?
Well, we were talking about the long tail cast on just now. I don't know how to deal with the provisional cast on.
Okay, but for this, I've used the crochet provisional cast on.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yes. I have tried the one with a cable of circular needle cable with a needle, as showed by Suzanne Bryan. I have tried 2 needles together, and I finally decided to use the crochet method.
And so even once you picked it up, because it was for the hems, the folded hem, a picot hem?
That's right, yes.
And even once you picked it up, it was still wonky?
Wonky is
wonky. I don't know.
Wavy.
Weird looking. Wonky.
well,
Crazy, wavy.
it's not crazy looking. It's just
Wrong size.
not the wrong size. Yeah.
What?
It's pretty.
Are there too many stitches in your hem at that point? What happens?
Well, say that again. I'm not sure.
So I'm trying to understand what happened.
Wait.
Your stitches, it's like your hem line is too big at that point? Like there's too many stitches in the hem?
That's right. Well, either too many, or when I noticed it was too big, I would start again and remove, I don't know, 20 stitches, and then it would be too much, even though when I made the calcul, how do you say calcul? When I made the math, I should remove 20 stitches, but it doesn't work. So I don't think I'm not
what
sure.
is your yarn made of?
Oh, it's linen, cotton, and viscose. It's Sandnes garn, thin line.
Do you notice the cast on issue after picking it up to make the hemline, or even when the cast on is just hanging out loose?
After I've folded the hem and
Right. So I wonder if this is being caused not by your cast on at all, but by the stiffness of the yarn once you folded your hem and it is now double thick.
okay.
Because only one side, only one layer of the yarn can be at the proper gauge for the circumference, if that makes sense. Either
Yes,
the inner layer
either the ends.
or the outer layer can be, the other one's going to stretch or
Right.
shrink. And if you're
Yes.
using a yarn that doesn't naturally have give in it, like a cellulose yarn that you're using, I wonder if just the act of having made the hemline double thick created the illusion that it was going to stay that way until you blocked it.
I wonder if blocking could fix it
Or help.
or help. Yeah.
Because
Well.
presumably you cast your, like you've worked in your regular gauge when doing a provisional cast on. There's nothing that should make your cast on, your provisional cast on, be at a strange gauge, unless it's like really loopy. But I wonder if it's the material rather than the cast on and the mechanics of the folded hem.
Mm-hmm.
In which case you
So-
can keep this hobby.
In which case, I what? I
You
should.
can keep the hobby. You don't have to get a new hobby.
You said the right thing.
You're just, could it be that you're just tense because you're starting a new project, and then once you're into a project and relaxing, your tension changes slightly?
I'm always tense.
That's my secret cat.
Like right now.
Okay, we'll take the spotlight off of you and give you a relief.
No, but I was wondering if were the only one having this kind of maybe not problem, but
Challenge.
yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Yep, you're the only one in the whole world.
Oh no!
Yes. No one else has any tension problems except you.
I know, how strange.
I don't know, maybe the people who watch or listen might write a comment if they share this or experience this, how did you say, challenge?
This challenge, yes.
And Sidra.
Yes, ma'am. So glad you shared.
Do you swatch before you start, or you just
Yes,
wing it?
I did, and I swatched in the round, but of course it's my swatch is the size of a sleeve, let's say. So I'm aware that I knit, I might knit tighter on such a small circumference.
Yeah.
So I still have a lot to learn and experience.
Well, this one thing I'm doing. And this is my
Said book.
Oh,
So-
God.
Very
Look at
beautiful.
that. Ah,
So when I did the swatch for this, I cast on too tight. And so then I looked at the spacing of the stitches on the needles
Mhm,
and redid the swatch. And then it worked.
mhm, mhm.
That's how I did it. But it was just a simple long tail. And it's not,
provisional.
not
Right.
the
Mm.
cable or the crochet provisional, which
Did,
I think
did
is a
you
little
change
more
the needle
difficult.
size? Oh,
10.
did you change the needle size, or just
Yeah, 10.
or just consciously go looser?
No, I just went looser. Well, I just
Yeah.
made sure the spacing between the cast-ons was the same as what the swatch lace was on the needle. Because I'm not gonna
Oh.
really block this out any more than what it is.
Uh-huh.
It's a, you know, it's a slaty thing, goes like that. It's for
Yeah.
my design. I think I showed you guys when I was starting this, but for my design certification. Last module. Yay.
Is that a silk mohair blend?
What is this? It's so there's it's two, and
Okay.
this is an alpaca boucle
Okay. Okay.
with silk, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. And then this one is just merino lace.
Okay.
And I like this light, strange lavender pink color. Well, I'm actually wearing it, but that's a garden shirt. I never wear it out. But I like it because it livens up this other color, which is almost kind of gray, purpley gray.
They go nice together.
Mm-hmm. And then I have something really wild for the in-between. It's my poncho. Maybe next week it'll be done. I'm hoping.
I got a question, a design question. I'm trying to do increases on my top, and I didn't start the increase. I want to make room for my hips, and I want about 3 inches of ease. And I have to add about 4 inches over about, I think about 5 inches of length. So, and I know my gauge, my row gauge is 34 stitches in 4 inches. And, so is there like is it totally based on all those numbers, or is there a standard of increase rate for going alien, or it just depends on where you start and where you want to finish?
It sounds to me like it's totally dependent on those numbers.
Right.
5 inches
Okay.
is a certain number of rows, and you want to increase the width, how much? 6 inches? And that's a certain number. It's
Probably
what?
3
3.
3 inches?
3 or 4.
So
Actually,
that's a certain number of stitches based on your stitch gauge. And so you figure out, well, how many increases is that per row?
Right. And then the only other thing you'd need to think about is if you're knitting flat or in the round, because if you're working flat, you would only want to increase probably on the right side rows.
it's in the round, and my feeling is, so since it's straight until right after the waist, I don't want to increase too fast because I think it'll look funny, right? Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, but I am adding 5 inches in that, so I think I don't have to increase that fast.
That's a lot, actually.
It is.
Yeah, I would
5
think
inches
so.
around and 5 inches deep.
3 to 4 inches around.
Yeah, let me
It's-
think. I think I'm going from 41 inches to 45 inches, so that's 4 inches.
Mhm.
And your
So 4 inch.
row and your stitch gauge is what again?
My stitch gauge is 24 or 26, and my row gauge is 34.
26 for
So
4 inches, and you want 4 inches. So
Oh.
you want to increase 26 times. And you want to increase that 26 times over 5 inches of length, and your row gauge is 30 what?
34.
34.
Oh, okay, yeah. I get it. I get where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do the calculation in my head, but
It's almost
Mhm.
every other row, and there's a few every fourth rows, but it's almost every other row.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So that's a lot.
that would be like
Yeah.
a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why-
Are you increasing 4 stitches per row or 2?
Two.
Two.
Oh, 2.
Well,
Okay.
two on the,
But
you could
two
do
on
two
each side.
front, two on the back. So if you're in the
2 on
round,
each side. Yeah.
4 in a
2 on each
round.
side.
That's
So
right.
you're saying 4 increases every other row, every other round?
No, now I forgot it was not flat. I forgot it was in the round. So yeah, probably every fourth row, 4. So that would be
Okay.
8 increases or 7 increases. Either 7 increases or 6 increases. You'd either increase 24 stitches or 28 stitches, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And so you have every
right.
fourth row that you could
I-
do that. That's 7 times 4 or 4 times 7. Yeah. So that's 28 rows. Or
Are you already at the point where you want to start the increases?
Well, I did start the increases and then I knit 10
Oh.
rounds. So I'm past where
Oh.
I should have been. So
oh,
now I might have to either go back or make it less wide. I could make it with 2 inches of ease instead of 3 or 4.
is this at the bust or is this at the hips? Are you going up or
At the
down?
hips. I'm going down.
So I actually think if you go back a few rows, then you could get away with 4 stitches every 6 or 8 rows,
Mhm.
and then it would look okay. It would look a bit
Yeah.
more like a sleeve, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do a little more math and then do something, figure that out. Maybe I won't make it as wide as I thought.
2 inches of ease at the hips is plenty.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Mhm.
Otherwise it'll look really,
It'll be loose.
yeah, I don't want it that loose, I don't think. I don't want it swingy, too swingy.
Right.
Thank you. I'm on the right track,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I just keep petting my hat.
Petting it?
It's
Just
so
gonna-
soft.
Is it casual?
Yeah, cashmere.
What size needles did you use for that hat, Ron? It's pretty.
This was on 2s for the brim and 4s for the body.
Mm.
It was temporarily on 0s because of a misfiled needle.
oh,
But you do knit tightly, so that's why.
I do knit tight.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would probably need to use 2s.
2s or 3s for most people probably.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want, it's halo-y, the yarn.
Oh,
So
it is.
I didn't want to work it too densely because I don't know if you can see the
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
got a nice
Nice.
haze. So I wanted to make sure it had room to fill out and to stay soft. It felt like a really nice fabric on 0s, but the hat was also this big. Something's gone wrong.
You cast it on too tight.
Yeah. I did need to move to a larger needle. Unfortunately, I'm no longer in this game as a hobbyist. I'm classified as a professional, so I have to keep going. I can't change to another hobby.
Why, you don't want to take acting now?
No.
No.
I can't stand up for long enough to be a comedian these days.
Oh, I did something. I made a mistake.
Tim, is there more tea?
Yeah.
There he is.
Hmm.
What are you working on these days, Walter?
I'm on the front half of that French sweater. It's almost up to the top. So
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We
looking
I love
good.
that one.
yeah, it is coming out nice.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it looks longer than I think, but I'll find out.
Either it's grown or you shrunk in the wash, Wally.
Right.
Oh,
Once I finish the armhole thing, I will put it on, and then probably I'll have to rip it out and redo it. But it's the way it said. It said it was, you're not measuring the ribbing, you're measuring the body up to 15 inches, which I did. Now you got to do. I'm doing 10 inches for the armhole, and I'm going to say, then it's supposed to end up to be 24 inches. So we'll see.
I don't know. I kind of love it.
Tim's puffing.
Yeah.
perfect.
Look at
Maybe a little
that.
too much
I love it.
pop-up.
Yeah.
Looks like one of the Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Something rather jolly about it.
That's cool.
are the I mean, I'm sure the instructions are clear, and are they detailed enough for someone like me who doesn't crochet much to accomplish such a nice creature?
I found the instructions in this book to be very helpful and very clear.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay,
yeah, I think that you could easily do it.
okay. It looks like there's a lot of techniques.
There
to-
are
There are.
simpler ones. And Tim kind of chose this one because it included techniques he hadn't tried before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot before. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
So
has to
and
try
but
new
the
things.
book also has very clear descriptions of each stitch and each method that the author uses to finish and produce the different stitch patterns that they make. So I think that it would be great for any skill level because you can really get in depth and be really careful about it, or you can just do it how you want to do it. But I found that it was very helpful.
Oh, good to
Now
know.
I have to chain it to the amigurumi display so my mother doesn't steal it.
Ah, put it in the lock.
We lose more models that way.
The book I showed also was designed to be used by beginner crocheters because that's what I needed. And
Really?
they tell how to do everything. They also told the difference between British instructions and American instructions. And said we use the British system, and so it's full of double crochets that are really single crochets
Single
to me.
crochets.
Yeah.
But it was real clear which they meant, and so I'm doing it the way they said. But they also, I mean, it was a complete instructions like for a beginner to learn how to crochet. I had actually learned as a teenager. I think I shared this story recently, but my mother used to crochet, my sister used to knit, and I watched both of them. And so I remembered being taught by my mother how to crochet, and so I was able to pick it up fairly easily, and my muscle memory came back. And I'm talking about 60 years later,
Oh, wow.
because I don't think I crocheted in the meantime.
I gather not many of you crochet.
I
Other than-
I learned to
Right.
crochet before I learned to knit. I don't do it. Every once in a while I will do something like earlier this year, I guess maybe it was last year, I crocheted a witch hat for a friend of mine who loves Halloween.
Mhm.
But that was probably the first thing I'd crocheted in at least a couple of years.
All
I learned to crochet this past summer in 2023 because
Oh.
I saw a pattern from Rowan that I really liked. So I I had to start and learn.
right.
And then I bought more cotton yarn than I should have. So I've crocheted myself a pair of, how do you say, capri, which are, Jenny, you say trousers, but you know, somewhere about knee length trousers.
Capri.
Capri.
Yeah, capri.
Capri, yes, capri, yeah. So that's all I did.
So I learned how to crochet. I was on a bus trip going around the United States after I graduated high school with a youth group. And so here you are in middle America with nothing to do. So I bought a crochet book and went to Ben Franklin and bought yarn. Didn't know anything about it. So I have some wool and some acrylic. It's over almost 54 years old.
Oh, wow.
Been washed. I'm afraid to do that. And it's sitting in the cabinet now. It used to get used all the time. But it's like I cannot follow anything through a book anymore. I have to see videos. I can't, it doesn't make sense to me when I look at a book and I go, they wanted me to do what? I don't understand, So
I guess the most basic thing to start out with is a pot holder, and that
Right.
works very quickly, and then you accomplish it.
Are you talking about knitting or crocheting? Both.
Crocheting,
Yeah.
crocheting, yeah.
Yeah, I guess crocheting makes a thick pot holder.
Yeah.
But you can use a thick stitch. I mean, even
Right.
garter stitch will
Mhm.
make a nice pot holder also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it last year before? Sometime in the last year, a couple years, like hand knit garter stitch, like jute twine pot holders were a thing. They were
Jute.
crumpled.
It's so hard on the hands.
yeah.
Jute.
Yeah.
You say jute?
Yeah.
Jute.
Yeah, like literally like twine people are making, because I think they were like showing up in like mass market stores, and then people started making them. So eventually, like we would start getting phone calls like, do you carry that stuff that you see? Twine? No.
You get that
First
at
of
a
all,
hardware store.
you can go to a hardware
Yeah.
store, do as much as you want. Secondly, you are all going to move on from this in 6 months.
Yeah.
How long?
I'm not going to bring in that much twine.
Yeah, this is one I have in my drawer. I use all the time. Yeah, this was made with 100% cotton. This is,
Yeah.
34 stitches, and then you just just make it any bigger. You can make a hat out of it too. So.
Yeah. Hold it
Yeah.
real still. Hold it still so we can see it there, focused.
Wow.
See how much stains are on it because I use it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's thick, and you can wash them and they're fine.
What pattern is that?
It's you crochet 34, you chain 34 stitches, and then you go on when you get to the end, you just go on the other half of the stitch, and you keep going around and around and around.
Oh,
And then you get to the point where you just mattress stitch the middle right up.
you're using single crochets?
Yeah, you can do it either way. Single crochet, You can do a back stitch on it to make it rigid. You can do anything for it.
I see.
It's the easiest thing to teach someone when if they want to learn how to crochet. So, because it's, you know, it only takes a couple of hours to do, and they've accomplished something. So, not like us knitters here that sit here for hours and days and months.
I've been working on these socks since March, I think.
Yes, right, right, exactly. You know, oh, I'm gonna do a sweater in two. What is that one guy on TV? Mark. He does sweaters every 2 weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. So.
I could do that too if I had amphetamines.
Right, you know.
And nothing else to do.
Nothing
Right,
else
exactly.
to do.
You know,
No sleep. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he said he pushed himself for the year. He made like 7 sweaters.
Oh my God.
I said, God, whoa.
Well, I hope he had fun.
He did. He enjoyed them.
Okay.
I don't know. I need a nap thinking.
Well,
about
who
it.
hasn't shown us what they've done?
Me. So
Yeah,
I'm still
just-
working on the blankie.
Oh,
nice.
yeah, we have to see the progress.
double
on that.
Yeah, oh, look at that. That is
Oh.
so wonderful.
Wow.
It's growing every week.
It
Yeah.
is. So I'm about 15% done now, a little over 15%.
All right.
Are you gonna
You-
take it on the cruise?
No.
You need to weigh it every week and make it a baby book.
That might work.
How many shelves are there on that pattern? 10?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And in the middle, it says read, and it says read going, it's reversed.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah.
and
Oh,
she's
wow.
done 1.5. I guess that's legitimate. 15%. Yes.
Yeah.
Jenny, I don't think we've seen what you're working on, have we?
No, but the lighting is really bad, so I don't know that you're gonna be able to see. Let me try
Oh,
turning
okay.
round and see if the lighting the other way works. Maybe get some light behind me. So
Oh, yeah,
I've
that'll be
finished-
better.
I've finished my double knit bag that I was working on.
Oh, nice.
So cool.
Oh, that's
So-
great.
Turned out
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
That is-
so really,
My cord worked
really
out
cool.
really well.
Mm-hmm.
That's-
Yes. So I've got an I-cord maker which I use to make the cord to go through.
Two
And
colours.
obviously being double knit, it's just reversible. So yeah,
Look at that.
just turn it
That's so
inside out.
nice. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
And then
Dad.
All your dice in it.
yes. Well, it's sort of big enough for a hat, really, but there you go. Yeah.
That's when you tie the I cord, so it makes it into a hat.
I could tie it, couldn't I? Yeah. And then my next thing, I'm going to be doing saddle shoulder Phrancko, but I'm working with Kathy
Yeah.
just to. So what we're doing is on Kathy's Knitwiz program, I'm wanting a specific width for the saddle. And a specific depth for the armholes. So we're working together with my measurements and gauge and her programming to do a test on that. So that will be my next project.
Wow.
Yes. And it might take a little finagling on the increases on the body.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably because the way it is in Phrancko is it would, I think for your measurements, it would be every row.
Okay.
Down at the
Yeah.
bottom, but you want to bring it up. So what I'm going to do is work with how fast is the rate of increase on the body, for the bust, and then make it so that the increases for the body start up higher while you're still increasing for the sleeve as well.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So that's the idea.
Yes. And so
And
what
I haven't
I'll
done it
do-
yet.
Yes. So what I'll do is when we think we've worked it and you create the pattern, then I will compare your pattern to the jumper I've knitted to see if we've got broadly the same amount of stitches across and broadly the same amount of increases and depth when we get down to the armhole. So that will give us an idea as to whether we're going in the right direction. Yeah. So it's cool.
It's going to be a little tricky, but
That's good. It's going to be an
I think it's
experiment.
doable. What's
Yeah.
that?
It's going to be an experiment. That's good.
Yep.
Well, it looks like we're all out of time, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Yeah,
Well, I was late.
it's always a joy to spend an hour with you all. So
It
thank
is.
you. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great
Okay.
week.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Take it
See you
easy.
next